In a world where carbs are your enemy, you need one man to help you fight your battles. That man is Jimmy.
Combating nutrition disinformation and general bull. It's Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Instagram Live, and we're here with another episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website if you'd like to join in on the conversation. What do we do here? We talk about a lot of different things within the world of nutritional health. So we try to do that here on Jimmy Rants, starting off on Instagram Live. You can engage live in the content. After that, you can watch it on replay for up to 24 hours on Instagram. If you missed the replay, you can actually watch all the past episodes on YouTube, where we put all of the past episodes. And finally, we have a Jimmy Rants podcast on Apple Podcast and on Stitcher. JimmyRants.com is the website. Today's Jimmy Rants, you can tell, I am in an airport. And so I get a lot of questions pretty often. You travel a lot. How in the world do you stay keto when you're in an airport? Now, there are some good airports that have great options when it comes to eating keto-friendly types of foods. Most of them are on the West Coast. I'm in LAX, by the way, the Los Angeles airport. And there's probably decent options in here, but when you go to an airport, you typically see a store like that. So it's a little corner store, and you look at it, and literally all you see is like the crappy garbage. In fact, I'll come up to this one so you can kind of see what's going on. And you can see that they have all the like M&Ms and stuff like that at the checkout. Like a big row of Cheez-Its, a big row of Chex Mix. But if you go inside a little bit deeper, you can actually find some pretty decent things. So like, I pull something like this off, and it's whole almonds. So those are raw almonds, and literally the only ingredient is almonds. So that would be a great option for people eating keto. But then you go to some of these ones that might be roasted, and obviously anything that's a flavor is going to have sugar in it. So the flavored one here, and plus, here's the other thing, roasted in vegetable oils, canola oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil. It's got maltodextrin in it, which is a sugar, hydrolyzed corn and soy protein. So you usually get a lot more than just nuts when you get something like that. And then they have like the lightly salted version of the almond. So see how it looks almost similar to the whole almonds I showed you a second ago. Similar, right? But you look on the back and you see almonds and vegetable oil, canola, and then sea salt. So you're getting a whole lot of rancid, unhealthy fats. Even though it's, quote, low sodium, it's high in inflammatory oils. So try to stick with the raw, whole form of nuts. Now, obviously, you see all these kind of products as well, and you think, okay, that's relatively healthy. It's gluten-free and nut-free. They make all kind of health claims. It's all natural. And so you've got to be careful of those. That doesn't really mean anything. You know, and somebody would look at something like this as well, and they'd say, oh, it's organic, and it's apple, so it's real whole food. You turn it on the back. And again, this is, you know, if you're not metabolically broken, this is probably a decent option. It's just apple that's been freeze-dried. But for someone who's ketogenic, that's 34 grams of carbohydrate for half the bag. So if you ate the whole bag, it would be 68 grams of carbs. That's a lot of carbs. All right, let's see. So then we come over here. They got a whole bunch of like nuts and things like that. So you can look at salted peanuts. And again, peanuts cooked in peanut, canola, sunflower, and soybean oil. That's a hard no. Even though peanuts in and of themselves might be healthy, that's a hard no. But they do have raw almonds. So this would be a great option here. Then the mixed nuts, same thing. Most of these nuts are gonna be cooked in seed oils. You don't want those. Now here's one, unsalted cashews. So you look at the back of that one. You think unsalted, you think just dry roasted? Nope. Vegetable oils again. So you see how they try to sneak it in, then they pull stuff like this, the whole honey cashews. Anything that's got a flavor, you have to immediately think of sugar. So for this one, oh my gosh, there are so many ingredients in this one. Cashews, honey coating, which is made with sucrose, which is sugar, wheat starch, honey, maltodextrin, xanthan gum. Then they add a honey glaze, which is sugar, honey, salt, cornstarch, carrots, xanthan gum, propylene glycol, natural and artificial flavors, natural and artificial colors, molasses powder, raisin juice concentrate, vegetable oils, sugar, and salt. So that's a hard no. All right, so how about these salted pistachios? This would be something that most people would think is pretty good, and you would be right, because it's pistachios and salt. So always look at what the ingredients list shows. Don't just trust, well, it's nuts, it's natural, then therefore it's healthy, because not always. And if you're gonna pick a bar of some kind, I'm not opposed to like the Kind bars and things like that. I think, you know, in a pinch, I think that's probably decent. It's still not great, it still has sugar, but it's better than some of this other crappy garbage that they sell. And then of course all the sweet stuff is just sugar. And this used to be my jam back in the day. I would eat Twizzlers like they were going out of style. Yeah, so limited options, but not totally off limits. Now, sometimes in the cooler section, you can find something pretty decent. See, like right here, they have 2 peeled hard-boiled eggs. So that would be an option for you. Sometimes they have, oh, here it is. They have like a bistro box. So you've got some pepperoni and cheese. That's a really good option there. That would be something that I would buy in a pinch if I needed something. But yeah, oh, they even have, you can tell we're on the West Coast, they have kombucha. So that's pretty good for gut health when you're traveling. That can be soothing for your gut. So yeah, so it's not impossible to do this. You just have to be a little more choosy about what you consume, what you choose to do. But the bottom line is, why do you need to eat? If it's a short enough flight, like today, I've got 7 hours worth of flying. So I ate before I left the hotel, but I planned. What happens is people get up, they frantically go to the airport, and they don't plan ahead of time, and then they get there and they go, crap, I'm hungry. And so then they pick up something like a lot of the food in there that I showed you that was no good. And then they eat that, they don't feel well. They get to, maybe their next airport with a connecting flight, and they don't feel well again, so they go and get some more of that same kind of food. They get home and they feel like crap. So nourishing yourself ahead of time is always the best option. And I'm gonna be able to go the whole day without eating. I had a couple of hamburger patties with some cheese this morning that was left over from last night, and ate that, was completely happy with that. And that will be what I eat for today, at least till I get back to South Carolina. So it's not difficult if you plan ahead. And you can also choose to fast just even if you didn't eat in the morning. Some people can fast really well. I'm getting better at it with flights. I didn't used to, when I traveled, handle this very well. I would always get hungry because of the stress of it. But I guess I've learned to be chill a lot more than I used to. So it does get better. But when you're at a airport, and of course you can go to any restaurant and just ask to get some meat and some vegetables and some fat. And most of these restaurants in these, especially LAX, Atlanta, Chicago, all the big airports, they're going to have options for you restaurant-wise. If one restaurant doesn't have it, go to the next one, and you will find one that will accommodate you if you actually need to eat something. So it's not impossible. Even though you're surrounded by crappy garbage, it's not impossible to stay keto even when you're at an airport. All right, let's see what you guys have to say. Welcome in, welcome in. Wanted to get this in before I hopped on the planes all day. Balance, Nourish, Heal says, you turned me on to macadamia nuts and now I can't stop. Yeah, it's hard to find macadamia nuts when you go to an airport. And my go-to nut is pili nuts, P-I-L-I nuts, eatpilinuts.com if you want to get some. They are a great travel food, and they're even higher in fat than macadamia nuts. But macadamias are great. You're exactly right. Thank you, Kimberly. So yeah, that's what I wanted to come on here and tell you guys about. That people often ask me, because you travel a lot, how do you eat in an airport? And I'm like, I don't really. But if I'm in a pinch, there are certain go-to foods, the raw almonds, you know, the meats and the cheeses that you would find in like a cooler section. If you find a restaurant in there, go in there and ask them specifically, you know, can I just get a hamburger? Can I just get a steak and vegetables? And do you have real butter? Just ask those questions just like you would eating out. It doesn't need to be a difficult thing that people make it out to be. All right, guys, that's it for this episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website. As always, hop on over to Instagram. You can follow me live. I go on live typically when I'm not traveling. I go on live a couple of times a day. So go follow me there at Livin' Low Carb Man, LIVINLOWCARBMAN. Once you are there, you can engage in content live, watch it on replay for 24 hours. San Marito wants to know about drinks. So yes, water, water, water. When you are flying, you don't realize it, but when you're flying, you get dehydrated. So it's so essential that you stay hydrated. I woke up with a little bit of a raspy, sore throat yesterday, and it's still here today. So I've been drinking like a madman. And you think, oh, I don't want to do that because I'll have to go to the bathroom. But you've got to stay hydrated or you'll start getting headaches and all kind of signs of dehydration and fatigue. So water is always the best option. If you want a diet soda or you want some sugar-free drink, that's fine. I showed you the kombucha a while ago. That's an option as well. Yeah, just stay away from the sugary drinks and you're probably good to go. Kitty Caddick says, I always fly with little Ziploc bags with nuts for me and the kids. Transatlantic, but be careful with some countries, never got caught. Yeah. I tried coming back from Australia one time with some butter because notoriously on those international flights, they're very low-fat meals that they serve. So I knew I was going to want my real whole butter. So I grabbed some, actually a fan in Australia gave me a whole stick the night before I left. And through their version of TSA, they confiscated it. And I was like so bummed. Like, really? I want my butter. So if you missed the replay on the Jimmy Rants, pop on over to YouTube. You can find the past episodes. And then finally, we have a Jimmy Rants podcast, which has the best of the best moments of this here show in podcast form. JimmyRants.com is the website. So guys, until next time, we'll see you then.